Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? Can you hear me well? Audio check. Disco music. Yeah, I mean, it's the only music I can play in the beginning of the stream because it's non-copyright. Otherwise, I'd play some different music. But just something to get the energy up for this morning. Hope you guys are all doing well. Make sure to like the video. Share it. See how many viewers we can get today. I hope you guys have been watching the market this morning with CPI. It's been pretty interesting. I'm actually very, very happy with the delivery of today on all asset classes across the markets. I think it's exactly what I anticipated, and it's a very good sign. So it should be I don't know about a particular good session, to be honest with you, but I think it sets the whole week up for a very good week and the rest of the month. Let me check the chat here. All good, awesome. Good morning, everybody. Again, if you can just like the video, I'd really appreciate it. At least get it out there into the YouTube sphere. Yesterday we had an unusual amount of viewers, to be honest with you. I mean, I've hit that viewership before, but I'm not particularly sure why that was. I'm going to give it like one more minute, and then I'm going to put the charts on the screen here. I'm trying to actually wipe down these blue light glasses I have. Let me know if anybody else has blue light glasses. They really help. Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, not yesterday though. Just I think maybe Tanya wasn't streaming. That's why. So hopefully I was able to get some viewers over to this side. Only takes one session. That's all it takes over here. Morning, Roosta. Hope you're doing well. Artemis, Oki, Will, Sal, Derek, Marco, A7, Maddie, Ian, Just Trey, Muhammad, Tom. Good morning, Brett. Good morning. Harris, good morning. Good to see you in here. Christian, good morning, everybody. Romer, Luke, Mats, good morning. Hope you guys enjoyed if you watched yesterday's video or last night's daily log. I think, in general, it's just to me, a really good video on when to sit out. To me, those are better than any entry pattern you could possibly ask for. And man, I can't wait to go over price with you guys. I'm very, very excited. Alright, so I got these glasses cleaned, I believe. Alright, that's much better. Good morning, TC. Alright, let me know if you can see the screen. Coffee is essential in my life, and that's what you just heard me sip on. Lee, good morning. Awesome Romer. Alright, you can see the screen, yeah? Alright, Flatwood, my brother. Hope you're doing well. Good morning. So let's take a look at today. CPI released about an hour ago. Really beautiful movement lower. And this is exactly what I've been describing all last week and even up until yesterday as well. I've been hesitant to want to push this thing higher. We've been at all-time highs. To want to push something that's all-time highs, continuously pushing it longer, to me it's not a smart idea. But let's deviate away from NQ for a second. Man, if you watched last night's video and even the weekly forecast from even last week, I've been calling upside on dollar. I've been firm on that, and that's for a particular reason. Because I would like to see this inversely correlate with NQ, ES, YM, right? So, to me, I made this very clear. I would like to see this as a market maker buy model. If you don't know what that is, it's fine. But all you really need to know is that for me, I'm going to extend out everything from the left side and utilize it on the right to support price, and I would like for it to reach up into the relative equal highs here. So that's the original consolidation. I believe if we dig up into the SIBI here, I'm not looking at this as a sell perspective. I'm looking at this as we're going to trade through this, treat it as support. Once we get above it, treat it as inversion, and attack the buy side liquidity here. And if that is so, which we're getting, we're going to see ES, NQ, YM all continuously drop lower. Now let's look at bonds in here. Bonds dropping lower. So that's correlated, that's in sync. Bonds are dropping lower. What are yields doing? Yields are all moving higher in sync with dollar. So for my weekly forecast, I wanted to make this clear. Dollar will move inversely with bonds. Dollar will also move in sync with yields. So if dollar is going up, you would want to see yields going up. So all of those are in sync. You want to see index futures, ES, NQ, YM, move oppositely to dollar index. What is it doing right now? It's moving oppositely to dollar index. Dollar index is going higher. All of them are moving lower. You want to see index futures moving in sync with bonds. Bonds are moving lower. Index futures are moving lower. Do you see the correlations? Now this, to me, is a in sync market. I like this. It's good. It makes me trust price more. I want to be participating in price. Look at forex. Forex, euros moving lower, as we've been anticipating. Pound dollar. That thing's just stuck in the mud. I don't care too much about it. Odd USD moving lower. So any USD correlated pair is in sync with dollar. It's moving lower. Dollar's moving higher. So do you see when you're looking at the market and it's not decoupled, things are moving in sync, you can start trusting price a lot more. It makes me a lot more trustworthy and wanting, for me, I want to engage with price. This is something that's nice. When it's loose, it's fast, things are in sync, they're not decoupled. It makes me want to trust price and be a participant within it. So that to me, when you start to get these signatures and these characteristics, that's when to me I can start pressing into price. That's when I can start pyramiding. That's when I can start doing things that normally I wouldn't do in a decoupled, consolidational market. Those are signatures, those are characteristics that you should be annotating so you know, okay, this is a type of environment that I can at least trust it. I can hold on to runners. I can maybe pyramid. I'm not saying you should risk more, but it's something where if I see an opportunity, I'm going to capitalize upon it. I'm not going to be hesitant. I'm not going to be scared. And it's what I've been describing to all of you for the last, I don't know how many weeks, because the market has not been in sync. It really hasn't been. There's been a lot of things that have been decoupled, not moving together. And once you get something like this, it's like, okay, perfect. It's exact. You don't always get this. I'm not saying you need to always wait for something like this, but if you can, it's such a good sign. It's exactly what you need to be looking for if you want to be in a really easy, smooth market. So hopefully it's a really clear example. As far as CPI today, we had a massive drop lower, which again, I'm not going to trade before CPI. There's no reason to do so. So you just have to sit out of CPI. And most of the time it makes gigantic moves. And again, I feel nothing towards that because it's part of my rules. I'm not going to trade before CPI and get smoked. That's gambling and stupid. So we dropped lower in here, which is a good sign. Again, it's making a clear distinction where it wants to rally towards. And if you look at the relative equal lows down here, that seems pretty favorable. And guess what? Everything else is in sync to match that drawn liquidity. Everything points that NQ should move lower and move towards the drawn liquidity. So do you see how you're using intermarket relationships to agree that this drawn liquidity is probably valid? So any entry model that you have should be valid to go short into the drawn liquidity. Based off of intermarket relationships, based off the higher time frame narrative, all of those things are aligning. It's perfect. So these are the conditions I look for. I can't, if you've been with me the last couple weeks, it's exactly what I've been describing. It's perfect. It's beautiful. I can't describe it anymore. So hopefully it makes sense to all of you. If you've been following along, you've been wondering what I've been talking about and what I've been trying to get at. This is what I'm talking about. Not saying that, you're not going to take losses in these environments, but to me, it's super easy to read the market. Like, without a doubt, it's going to attack the relative equal lows in here. After that, I don't know how far. I think we've already moved a lot today on CPI. I think there's only a certain amount of range that you can move in a daily candlestick. So I'm not going to push this thing beyond what I think is reasonable for today. If I can't find a short into the relative equal lows, then it is what it is. It's fine. I mean, I'm not going to short before CPI. Let me look at the chat in here. So, yeah. Exactly, Rista. Yeah, I mean, I know what I'm looking for. I'm patient enough to look for these type of signatures and these characteristics in the market. Some people are not this patient to do so. But I know when this type of environment, really, it's been on that side. Yeah, so all my annotations are on this one. I know what I'm looking for, and I'm patient enough to wait for those signatures to play out in order for me to feel confident in engaging with the market. So 17,555. That's, if I can get a short into that today, then that would be great. If not, then I may have to sit idle and not do anything, because that's my terminus. I don't have anywhere else price can reach for. I mean, we have a couple other lows and inefficiencies beneath price, but again, price can only move so much within one daily candlestick, so you can't push price beyond its reasonable means and its boundaries in a day. Again, if that means I have to be patient and wait another day, then I'm going to do so. I'm like, man, I've waited for so long for a great market environment, and now I got to wait even more. It's like, well, so be it. It's fine. I don't make the rules here. I'm not in control of anything. If I had to be looking at some overall downside, it would be 17.55 and then 17.465. Only concern to me is how far are we going to retrace? If we do have some type of retracement, where would that likely lead us? Morning session will be lower. I mean, it could be, but we'll see. Would you like to see manipulation higher? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call it manipulation though, just simply a retracement into a premium. We may not get that. We may run for the relative equal lows before any sort of retracement happens. This is an old new week opening gap here. So if you look at price, that's an old new week opening gap back from, I believe that's the second, 4th of February, I believe. Yeah, so it's last week, so 2 weeks ago. What happens after we take out sell side? Do we look for bullish opportunities? Not necessarily. If, to me, again, this is going to answer your question as well, Marco. What did I just state in the beginning of the video? What does intermarket relationships point to? What did I just annotate everything? It points to lower prices on NQ. So that would be the narrative. Intermarket relationships, like if I was not even to look at NQ, if I was not even to look at NQ and what it was doing, I could still get an overall idea of where price should trade to without even looking at an NQ chart. Because if dollars moving higher, bonds and yields are moving, if bonds are moving lower and yields are moving higher, I should expect NQ to move lower without even looking at an NQ chart. So I hope that makes sense in terms of intermarket relationships. I'm able to determine a bias without even looking at a chart, without the NQ chart. And then I'll confirm it with NQ and I'll see if it's agreeing with it and if it wants to move in sync. And if it is, then bias is pretty easy. The hourly candles, can you take care of that? I mean, I'll do it. It's ICTI or time frame candlestick indicator. It's okay. I mean, I'm sure Richard, he's new here. It's just a common question, Richard, which I get. It's fine. So what would make me want to go short in this condition? That's a good question, to be honest with you. I think asking for a very large premium to be met would be a little too overzealous. So what I mean by that is from that dealing range high down to this low, waiting or anticipating a retracement that deep just to go lower today would be, I think it's asking too much. It may not even reach into a premium. It may leave that as a breakaway and we may see it sell off into the sell side. So I would be anticipating more or less this to be left open, to be honest with you. Yeah, of course, Richard. So if you guys could please like the video, I'd really, really appreciate it. It's only at 90 likes, so I know there's a lot of you in here. Just go ahead and press the like button real quick. If you're not taking notes, if you're a newer student, Justin, you should be taking notes over what I just said, because it's very, very important. Like what I said in the beginning of the video and what I've been covering over the last few weeks, it's really, really important that you do recognize that and you're able to recite that and know exactly what I'm talking about. Because it's the easiest way to me to determine, again, low probability conditions, high probability conditions, is a great way to determine narrative and bias. So again, yesterday, sitting out of that session, to me, I was able to determine that through time and through intermarket relationships, being able to sit out of a choppy opening range like that. Nico, I like it. That's funny. ICD, I'll go yes. As I described in the beginning of the video, things are in sync in terms of intermarket relationships. Put a 1 in the chat if you understand what I'm saying. I hope I'm not like speaking rocket science to a lot of you, because to me it's easy. I find that easy what I've stated. but I know it could be confusing for some, especially if you're newer. Okay, good. I hope you guys are not lying. If I sat down with you, see, this is the easiest way. If you've ever wanted to get better at trading and you feel a little bit, you feel intermediate to advanced, sit down with somebody who has no idea about trading and try to explain it to them in the very simplest form. Because if you can't explain trading to somebody, it means you don't have a great understanding of it as well. If you can't explain it in a very simplistic, childlike manner, it means that you probably don't have a great understanding of it. It's a great way to test yourself. Accidental. I don't know why my bot deleted your message, but good to see you in here. I haven't seen you in here a couple days. It's just simple market relations, exactly. And it's just a great way to utilize it for narrative bias, how to determine low probability conditions, high probability conditions. It's a great indicator. The market is an indicator. I don't need to have something on my chart. The chart tells me. Is the stream health okay? It seems like it's a little bit poor. So give it a second. I'm not talking as much because I don't know if the stream is okay. I don't want to lose all of you. I got you, Accidental. I hope you're enjoying the warm weather. I will be down in Florida here this year, so I'm jealous. Accidental, I went over that in the beginning of the stream. I went over bonds and yields and dollar index right in the beginning of the stream. So I know you're just tuning in. Thank you, Lord. Yeah, Sigma, SMC is the same as ICT, so, I mean, I'm not... You're probably learning from somebody who's not mentioning ICT, or I don't know. I'm not sure. Come on, internet. I don't know if my internet's messing up or I just see it on my end. Yeah, I know. Lags every now and again. It should clear up here in a second. Sometimes my internet just likes to be fickle. Turn off my my Wi-Fi. I'm not going to talk as much until I see this clear up. Okay, stream is fine. I know sometimes it says it's poor on my end, but it's actually good for you guys. So just let me know if I'm ever saying it's poor and it's fine. And the lag and the delay sometimes makes it difficult to see. You got a lot of patience for chat, bro. Yeah, I mean, again, it's part of the deal with live streaming, and I'm okay with it. I don't trade euro. No, I used to. Sigma, as far as like your questions, bro, I would just go to ICT's YouTube channel. Ignore everything else. Ignore any other teacher that's teaching ICT. Even myself. Like, just go straight to the source. Go straight to it. Learn it. Learn the actual real definitions. Don't be on Twitter. So as far as what I'm looking at, more or less, I'm going to be waiting for the silver bullet because I don't know if we're going to have a large retracement before we move lower today. I'm standing on the side of I'm not going to take a long in here. So if you guys are wondering, what is narrative? What's being in line with narrative? Well, if the narrative to me is bearish, right? Higher time frames point to lower prices. The draw on liquidity points to lower prices. Intermarket relationships, they point to lower prices. I'm not going to take a long in here because I would rather stand on the idea is I'm only going to look for shorts. Now, you could play the idea of we could have a retracement because we're going to go lower, but there could be a retracement higher before you go lower. But to me, I don't find that a high probability right now because I don't know if we're going to have a retracement that high. So I would rather elect to just stand on the idea of I'm only going to look for shorts today. And if some long scenario played out for the retracement, that's fine. I'm not gonna be upset. I would only look for shorts because this thing could very well sell off, and I'm trying to pick a bottom in here for the retracement, and the retracement never happens. It could leave this as a breakaway gap and just trade right into the sell side. So that's where you're standing on the idea of just being in line with the narrative, right? Many people ask me about narrative and being in line with it. That's what I mean. I'm getting a call from, is that Arkansas? I don't know that number. Which one of you is calling me? The only reason I would really shorten here is if I really saw a nice entry pattern to get short in here. And I'm not trying to go long as I described earlier. Do I still study ICT? No, I do not. To me, I've graduated. I've learned everything I could possibly learn from him. I have all that I possibly ever need. So that's the way I view it. Let me do this just in case. How to get in touch about extending your car's warranty. On a side note, if you're checking the chat, my bot, if you guys really, I'm not a salesman. I'm not somebody that really pushes a lot of companies or things. I'm not, you guys know that. But my funded futures, they have a static account. And if you don't know what that means, it's very much like if you used a forex prop firm, their drawdown does not move. Most future prop firms, even some of their plans, their drawdown moves, it gets trailed, right? This account plan does not. And I think it's fantastic. I even picked up 2 of them, and I'll be just trade copying it with my main live account because I think it's a great way, especially if you want to build an account long term. It's such a great way because your drawdown doesn't move with you. You can build a buffer on that account. You can start sizing up. I think it's a fantastic account, man. I mean, for the price, for $200, you basically get a $1,500 account where you're able to max up to 2 contracts on NQ, which is crazy. If you start moving that drawdown up, you start moving into profit, you can really start leveraging those 2 contracts because you're not able to do 2 contracts on a $1,500 account if you're just looking at the drawdown. You're not able to do that. So it's a huge plus, man. If you're looking for a long-term account, that's what I'd be looking at. And that's what I'm doing. Again, there's nothing in here I'd be participating within. If you look at ES, ES has sell side at 49.54.5. I think that would be, again, if I'm looking at intermarket relationships, I'm trying to look at where would NQ trade, where would ES trade. ES has sell side basically in the same area that NQ does. So if that's another, again, confluence when you're looking at your biases. Does the other correlated assets have the same liquidity in the same area? Are they in sync with each other? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, perfect. That's, again, another good high probability draw on liquidity. Uh-oh. That's my Spotify. Let's see, I'm going to play some Spotify music today. Static drawdown, no, it's not the same as end of day. End of day is it's still a trailing drawdown, but it's just the end of day. Whatever you ended up, then it's trailing with that. But static, it doesn't move. It's always there. So again, that's perfect for if you're withdrawing. You don't have to worry about your trailing drawdown. If you withdraw with a trailing drawdown, then you're reducing your overall drawdown. And to me, it's not a great way to build an account. So statics are, to me, they're the best bet in a futures account. It's the closest thing that you can possibly get to like a future or to a forex prop firm. It's not as large of a drawdown. It is what it is. It's what I have to settle with. So, I mean, not many futures prop firms offer that. Can I cancel my account whenever? Yeah. Mike Benny, yeah, that's awesome to hear. I've been through everything. I mean, it's whatever, again, your personality. If that meets your eye and you're like, man, it's perfect, exactly what I was looking for, man, by all means, just dive right into it. Don't listen to anybody else. I mean, I've been through all of his content. I have just a collaboration of everything that I've learned. I've created my own model, my own style, and then you become comfortable in your own kind of skin with what you like. So we're just moving into this macro here. 950 to 1010. What is the profit split on funded? It's 90-10. Nico, no, I mean, that, to me, this is pretty favorable market conditions. I'm just trying to determine if we're going to have a retracement higher before taking out the sell side, or do we just drop off lower, leave that as a breakaway gap to attack sell side, which I personally believe we're going to leave that as a breakaway. We're not going to have a retracement. It's rather what I'd want to see. Because if we had some type of retracement higher today, I don't think the sell-off is going to happen today. If anything, it would happen at PM. So that's what I'm targeting, those relative equal lows in here. Emers, I mean, it could be a one-time payment, but it's a monthly payment until you pass the account. So if you pass the account within 1 month, you don't have to pay another monthly fee. So this turns into an inversion. If you're just tuning in, welcome everybody. If you can like the video, if you haven't already, I'd appreciate it. Exactly, Tom. Very good. Very studious. You know what's funny is ICT, I'm part of his charter membership. He still talks to all of us, and I'm able to chat sometimes with him if I can get a little bit of his attention and time. But yesterday I just asked him about YM because it's been decoupled throughout the last couple weeks and few sessions, and I asked him, you know, are there times that you disregard YM in terms of SMT? And he says for the most part, he's like, I don't really pay attention too much to YM, which was a surprise to me. He said you should still utilize it, but he's like, for the most part, intraday sessions, I'm just utilizing ES and NQ together for SMT and paying attention to it. So it was kind of like new news to me. He's like, okay, well, I'm not going to put as much emphasis on YM as I used to, and I'm going to see how that works out, just paying attention to ES and NQ and their correlation. Again, we're having a displacement higher in here. I don't particularly want to go long. Why is that? Because to me the narrative is overall lower prices. I'm not trying to pick a bottom in here. But if you had to frame it within the narrative is bearish, but we're having a retracement higher. So if I can anticipate that within the bearish narrative, I'm going to be buying the retracement, that you're still working within the narrative. It's just a little bit lower probability because there's no guarantee that this thing's going to have a retracement higher. But to me, it's not a guarantee, but it's a lot better for me to just pick the side that it wants to run for, ideally, which is to the sell side. Good morning, Danny. Good to see you here, brother. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, YM's always been doing that. But, I mean, it was just kind of like, oh, okay. Just place a little less emphasis upon it. It was cool to see ICT yesterday. He was able to sit out the morning session just like we did and then able to capitalize on the shorts. I think he's having a lot of fun. Yeah, Danny, I asked him that yesterday in the charter group, and luckily he answered me. And that's, to me, I'm not trying to sound egotistical or braggadocious, but if you're asking a question to a mentor, make sure that's a valuable, good question, not something that's easily answered. Like, to me, the reason he answered is because it was a decent question. It was something like, oh, yeah, I could answer that because it makes sense. Not, what's a high probability for a value gap? You know, he's not going to answer that. And that goes for even myself or any other mentors out there. If you want to be worthy of their time, make sure you're asking a worthy question. Something that, you know, is something that you've tried to figure out yourself. You couldn't figure it out. Seems very reasonable to ask. Akbar, awesome, brother. Good morning, Casino. Oh, Casio. I don't know if you meant Casino. Maybe I'd quickly glance at that. Danny. Yeah, that's why I don't ask questions. Yeah, I mean, I've on my hand I can count how many questions I've asked him, and I've been with him for almost 3 years now. I've had plenty of opportunities to ask him a lot of questions, but unless it's something super valuable, I'm not gonna ask it. Most of the things you can really figure out on your own if you just do the work. I shouldn't ask what indicator. Like, again, that's something that, like, if somebody's like, what indicator is that? It's like, you guys know if you've been trading, you can just look at the indicators and look at it. Like I only have 3 indicators on, so it's got to be one of them. I don't know, Maddie, you're just being sarcastic. That'd be with longs. Yeah, I mean, again, that's all your personality. Like, to me, I'm just not willing to do that. I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but to me, I would rather wait for something that is just in line with the narrative. But this is the old new week opening gap here, the blue shaded area. We have a SIBI above it, and then that large opening range SIBI above. Curious to see. I see a breaker pattern in here. You have a low, a high, a lower low, then a higher high. Technically, it's all those up close candles. Thank you, Tom. I need to put the dollar index up here. I'm extremely bullish on dollar until I'm proven wrong. I'm gonna stand on that. I'm gonna stand on daily time frame being a market maker buy model. And then you'll see on Twitter after it's complete how to spot a market maker buy model. Here's a PDF. That's cool, bro. Be able to call it in real time. I'm sorry, I get triggered a lot by stupid things on Twitter. All right, Accidental. Hope you have a good vacation, brother. Take care. On slower days, do you sell credit spreads opposite of your daily bias to collect premium, not get chopped up? I think you're just saying, do I trade the opposite of what the daily candle is doing? I mean, there's times, like I said, to me, again, if we're just talking about narrative and the bias, I'm looking for lower prices. We're looking for the sell side liquidity, the relative equal lows here. Now, just based off of market structure, what do we usually do? We make new lows, and then we print new lower highs. So I could be buying in here to anticipate that we're going to have some type of retracement, right, before we go lower. I just particularly don't want to do that. I would rather see us just get up into that premium and then sell off. And we may not have that retracement. It may just sell off from here, and that way I'm protecting myself. And if I miss the long, I'm not going to be upset. It doesn't really matter to me. I see algo trading. Yeah, I mean, again, it takes a lot in me not to. Again, I have to remind myself that I don't know these people. Twitter is just stupid, but it takes a lot in me not to just go off on Twitter and say a bunch of things, man. It really does. That's why I don't even have Twitter on my phone, dude. I don't, unless I'm at my computer, I don't look at Twitter. How did I find ICT about in the early years? I mean, I've just been trading for a long time, so I've been around the community for a long time. So look at the 4-hour closure. Some more sell side. Let me take away the new week opening gaps. So what does this do? After we close underneath it, we can create that as a inversion. Right? If we close underneath it, then that's going to be an inversion. ES looks very bearish compared to NQ. Yeah, I mean, they could still both move in sync. I'm trying today really not to look at YM based off my conversation with Mr. Michael yesterday. I'm just going to see this experiment, how that works. If I just ignore YM for now. So that is a very large drop lower. To attack, where's the sell side at 17.55? So that's down there. I'm just visualizing, can I, again, this is not perfect, but can I visualize this daily candle really dipping down into there? Could be a possibility. We've moved a lot today already. So there's only so much range in a day that price can really move. Our unit's private form, yeah. I mean, it's just, at this point, it's just a private telegram. So inefficiency here, but I'm not, again, the narrative to me is bearish. I'm not going to be trying to buy inside of this. And to me, if it bleeds right through, it's a very clear example of just staying on side with the narrative. It's the reason why I do it. So I'm not trying to call bottom in here. I'm not trying to take an unnecessary loss, to be honest with you. And if it moves away from it, again, it doesn't affect me. If you're just tuning in, I see some better viewership. If you can just like the video, I'd appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you, Vigo. New moderator. Justin, you're out. I bet you didn't even like the video, Justin. Can I like my own video? I think I'd have to do that on another account. It'd be really nice to see this trade through that inefficiency in here and then treat it as an inversion. So kind of two sell side objectives in here. Yeah, if this thing moves higher, it's fine. Standing on one side and saying, you know, I'm only electing to trade one side, to me is the best way to gain consistency. I'm not saying you're not able to do both, but to me, to create a little bit higher probability is just to stand on one side and say, you know what, I'm only going to trade this side, and if it doesn't work, then, not that it doesn't work, but if it doesn't pan out, then I don't do anything. Maybe too much patience for some of you, but for me, I'm fine with it. And it's funny, like, I'm the most impatient person on earth, but when it comes to trading, it's just a whole different level of mentality, because it costs me money. It costs me a lot of money not to be patient. But in real life, man, I mean, I'm not patient at all. Only way I'd be interested in some type of bullish setup is if we got above this high, and I could see, all right, we're probably just going to have a really deeper retracement today. Then I would probably elect to do it. We have a 1 hour Sibian here. But being this low inside of this discount, I really don't want to be caught trying to pick a bottom, to be honest with you. Maybe the best risk to reward, maybe the best entry, but again, I'm looking at terms of probabilities. So 1 hour Sibian there. Did I get any session, PM session trade yesterday? No. If you're not patient IRL, then trading against, I mean, yeah, but, I mean, trading has definitely helped me be more patient in life. But again, you can be very patient in trading, but very patient out of life. It doesn't exactly translate over. See a lot of people in here very patient in real life, but not patient in trading. Trading is a whole different mindset. It's things in real life don't always move over to trading. Yeah, I mean, trading has taught me to be very patient in general. I mean, before trading, I was awful at being patient and waiting for things, and I mean, even just success in general, like just going through this journey will teach you success. I mean, it's not just trading, but like, trying to be successful. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen even in a year or even a couple years. I mean, it takes a long time to get even semi-consistent at this. So the journey to success will teach you patience too. I mean, Muhammad, why didn't I take this trade? I've already described that. Do I trade the PM session the same? For the most part, yeah. I actually think the PM can be a lot easier for newer students if the conditions are right. Because for the most part, the moves already really happen for the day, and sometimes the range is a little bit smaller. There's not as much volatility, and it's a little bit more slower paced at times. At other times, it can be really fast paced. So again, I just don't love the PM session. Unless AM didn't do anything, then I could find PM to be really, high probability. Exactly, Trader Tom. Once you learn it, nobody can take this skill set away from you. It's forever with you. Yeah, I get a lot of questions on London, but I mean, for people like me in the US, I mean, I'm asleep. There's no way I could adjust my schedule to that. So you just, at times, you have to draw the line in the sand and be like, all right, I'm not trading this session. I'm not going to trade this model. I'm not going to trade this. I mean, I can't trade everything. I can't be available all the time. I mean, I'm sure there's parts of the world where you could trade London, New York, and PM all in one day, but I mean, you're probably glued to the charts for 12 hours. And again, that's not healthy. Yeah, Danny. I mean, I've always loved futures or indices in general, just because compared to forex, because of the open. So to me, it's like, all right, it's like a start. It's like at a race, somebody shoots the gun. For me, it's like, all right, now I can sit down and I can be ready. Forex is just like, yeah, there's a kill zone, but at any time, anything can really happen. For me, I know I can set my clock to this and be like, all right, I'm not doing anything until the open, and even after that. Eased into it through the PM session. see, for anybody who's newer and take it from Danny, he's also a charter member. I mean, ease into it maybe through the PM session. I calculate, yeah, probably Thailand or Bali. I don't know time zones, but U.S. is just not physically possible. I gotcha. Yeah, I think for the most part, though, Danny, I think everybody that comes into ICT now, I mean, they're probably just trading indices. They don't even know about forex really, or they see forex and like, man, why haven't I ever traded that? Well, forex is a lot of fun. I mean, if I ever had to go back to it, I'd love to. I did last year for a period of time. I had a great run on Euro. Euro will always be my first love. Jerry, yeah, I think that's a really good starting place for sure. You have to ease into the 1 minute, and you have to be very careful of it. You have to know, like, all right, what's like a low probability for value gap on a 1 minute? What's a high probability? Easy way to start is to look at a 15 minute, a 5 minute, and see if it's what's the word I'm looking for? If it's layered. Like if on a 15 minute you can refine that all the way down to a 5 minute. From the 5 minute you can refine the fair value gap down to a 1 minute. Could be higher probability if it's placed within a narrative. All right, so this is nice. It's exactly what I'm waiting for. It's exactly, again, I'm sorry if you're long in here, but this is exactly what I'm not taking it long. It's the simplest reason I can give is place yourself within the narrative. Stand on that. Stand on that idea that you're just going to be within the narrative. And I'll probably say that it rips off higher, but again, to me, I'm happy I'm not taking a bottom in here. Turkish, I mean, depends, man. There's a lot of things that make you consistent, but if you put a lot of emphasis on your own psychology, I recommend picking up the book, The Mental Game of Trading, by Jared Tindler, and working on yourself a lot. I mean, you could have a very simplistic approach to the market, and as long as you have a good grip on your psychology and good risk management, you can be consistent. CES trading off lower, NQ starting to get in sync. My TP got hit before I could adjust it lower. It's unfortunate, isn't it? It happens. ICT has definitely helped me slow down on entries. That's good. Yeah, Muhammad, I'm just paying attention to ES and NQ right now. So even though we closed underneath that fair value gap and it could be an inversion, I particularly wouldn't want to short off of that right now. I like inversions where I have a SIBI or a BISI that resides within the inversion. It's just like an extra confirmation. Did you just call yourself a bad trader? All right. If you guys are just tuning in, I appreciate if you'd like the video. Subscribe. I see we have some new viewers in here. I mean, Roxanne, that's, to me, that's I hate to say it's a terrible way to view trading. I mean, you're more than likely going to fail that if you view it from that standpoint. I mean, to me, I would reduce your risk to where not one trade is a make or break it. I mean, I've been there before. I know what you're saying. But to me, when you're in that much a drawdown, you need to reduce your risk a lot and build yourself out of the drawdown to where you can start increasing it. Don't just have one last trade where it blows it all. Yeah, DXY is a correlated pair. I mean, it's going to move in sync with dollar index. Anything with USD first is going to be correlated with dollar. Anything with USD, like Euro USD after, is going to be inverse correlated. ICT. Wait, that's funny. I've never seen somebody do that, Nico. You ever trade gold? No, I haven't. I'm sorry. Yes, I have, but just I don't. Flatwood, yeah. Yeah. Do I feel any type of way about this moving higher? No, I particularly wouldn't be inside of longs doing this. See this little fair value gap we didn't break underneath it. Why am I not buying in here? Because to me the narrative is bearish. If I just want to be in line with the overall lower prices, it's an easy way to protect yourself from taking stupid losses, trying to pick bottoms. Remember that inversion here. Currently inside of the old new week opening gap. That's what the blue shade area is. Sorry if I'm not talking. I'm actually listening to some good music right now. Enjoying it. I'm still unsure what I'm doing on the charts. Well, it's fine. It doesn't, I mean, everybody's been there. But just to me, that means don't be doing any challenge accounts. Don't be putting any money into a live account. Keep paper trading. Keep expanding your knowledge. No, Harold. I'd be surprised if many people went long in this and were able to hold that. I mean, particularly where would I have went long in here? I wouldn't have went long anywhere in here. Particularly, that's not what I want to be doing. I'm not looking at chat right now. I don't have it up, so if you're typing in it. So what I'm doing here is I'm just marking out the EQ of the range. As soon as we get above EQ, to me, from the dealing range, longs would be a little bit lower probability in general. As the narrative is bearish, I'm overall looking for lower prices. As soon as we get into a premium, I'm not going to be trying to push a long in there. And I just looked at chat, and so many people are saying, isn't that a unicorn? Isn't that a silver bullet? Isn't it this? Isn't it that? Again, I've described, like, I think 17 times why I don't want to be longing. And some of you may not understand that. You don't understand, like, the confidence in just not wanting to participate in a retracement. I don't care. It's being willing to be patient, just to wait. If, to me, if this is overall to go lower, I'm okay with letting something like that pass by me. It's a different level of patience, a different level of maturity to wait for that. I don't need to participate in all that. And so you may look at that and be like, that's stupid. But again, it's my personality. I think a lot of you try to press your own personality upon me. It's crazy, man. And I'm not saying this derogatory, but you have to remember, everybody has their own personality. So because I don't say something, A, doesn't mean that it's not good for you, but it's not for me, right? So trading is very personal. It's very, very personal. That's not what I see. It's not what I want to participate in. I try to keep that a main focus because, again, chat can be too much at times where, like, I start questioning my own self and start, like, oh. But again, I remind myself that's, it's my personality. It's what I like. Yeah, Lord. I mean, again, conditions have not been super right for me personally. Again, that's my personality. And when things are, and when you see me entering into things, you're going to be like, oh, you're super patient. And then you look at my P&L and it's profitable. And it's like, oh, just because I'm not participating in something every single day, every single week, does not mean that over time, you know, you're not making money. Like, I could be making way more money, being way more profitable doing nothing than somebody that's doing something every single day. Some of you just want to see action every single day. You want to see somebody participating in the market. To me, it's stupid. And again, this goes back to, if you don't like my teaching style or my personality, then I'm not the right mentor for you. I'm not the person you should be listening to or sitting out live with. And again, Lord, yeah, I mean, that just goes back to your original statement right there. You didn't take anything in the last 2 weeks. Again, I'm not trying to get mad at you, but I'm not taking unnecessary losses like you just did. To me, that's just stupid. And there's other times where I'm trading off stream. But you notice I'm not going to be paying attention to the chat the rest of the session. It may be boring. I'm not going to talk much, to be honest with you. I'm not going to be looking at chat. I can feel myself getting irritated, to be honest with you. Not with the charts, but chat. I mean, as far as where we're at, again, I'm still looking for lower prices. I'm not going to be trying to long this now because we're inside of a premium. Why would I be trying to long this? I'm standing in that idea that I'm still going to be looking for lower prices. If I'm overall wrong on that idea, then so be it. But I'm going to be looking for lower prices. So to me, we moved up into a premium now. I want to see if something would be willing to move lower. If not, then I'm going to have to sit idle. Side of the CE of that 1 hour. Again, ES is not wanted to trade up higher with NQ, so either it is a six sister or it could trade off lower. I'd probably believe that ES would want to trade higher. So ES, I'm just looking at ES. If it becomes the six sister, meaning that it would just get in line with whatever NQ is doing. Inefficiency here. This is an old new week opening gap there. So that's the sell side on ES, same where NQ is. But ES may want to reach up into this premium SIBI there. So there's a bearish S&T between ES and NQ. Anytime you're using a six sister approach, there is going to be an S&T between the two. But you're using that approach anticipating that ES would want to get in line with whatever NQ is doing, vice versa. Dollar index, to me, it's still moving higher. I don't see that moving lower. I'm sure there's a lot going on in the chat, but again, I'm not going to be looking at it right now. I've tried to make that emphasis over the weekend is to not pay attention to the chat. And if it means I'm not going to be talking as much because there's not many talking points, then so be it. If I see something meaningful to talk about and that I'm going to highlight, then I'm going to talk about it. But again, most of you have no idea. Like the level of just live streaming alone and then dealing with chat, I mean, it's a lot, man. So I try my best to do both worlds perfectly, but at times I have to reel it back. And it's hard for me at times because I want to interact with chat, but if it's going to affect me, I'm going to not pay attention to it. So there's an inversion to the left with this fair value gap and the new week opening gap, old new week opening gap. Just trying to determine, does it really want to move higher? So I'm going to enter in on ES just to show you an idea of trading within the narrative, but you're still looking for A, the sixth sister, and B, you're looking for the retracement, right? I'd take 2 off inside of that SIBI. If we travel up higher, then take 1 off higher there. I have to admit, it's a little odd not interacting with chat. I feel like I'm just trading by myself. It's kind of peaceful, to be honest with you. Maybe what I need to do just means I'm not going to be talking as much, because I don't have, when I have chat, I can work with some questions and work off of those questions and actually teach, which is the main point of these live streams, is to teach while I'm live streaming, right? But really what I'm utilizing is the six sister approach and the idea that ES would want a retracement higher before it goes lower. Entering off of the inversion, this fair value gap here, new week opening gap, old new week opening gap is here. Buy side's resting above us. So my idea is we expand above buy side, move into the premium SIBIs, and we'll see what happens from there. But I'd really want to see us close above that high where we just tag the buy side. I would really want to see it rally above that, at least in the premium SIBI. I think Q is still trading off higher, which is, it's a good sign. Again, we're using the six sister approach. NQ is really wild. That's a really deep retracement. May actually not trade off lower. Again, sometimes you're incorrect on your bias in your narrative. NQ really may be trading off higher overall. That's a super deep retracement. Right where that high is where the 1 hour SIBI is, so at least anticipating it gets up into the 1 hour SIBI. Maybe from here it can return back to the inversion. I'd rather it not. I'd rather it just expand higher. Down close candle, that would be your bullish order block. That moved like 4 handles. I'd rather leave this as a breakaway gap. This is quite peaceful, to be honest with you. I may just stop talking during live streams. No, I don't mean that. I will be talking. Again, there's just times when I need to evaluate my own self and be like, all right, do I just need to reel it back and just focus on myself? Again, trading in itself is hard. You guys know that. And then live streaming on top of answering chat, it can be a lot. And I'm not complaining. It's what I signed up for, obviously, doing this. But again, there's times where I just need to put myself first rather than the chat or the live stream first. Yeah, I mean, ES moves pretty damn slow, so I can't anticipate the same movement that I would get on NQ. What the hell is on my Spotify? I'm listening to Christmas music. We're gonna get that off. Oh, yes, it's on both. I'm actually looking at chat right now. Copex, yes. I do the paper trading so you guys can all see this. Yes, you got to give it a lot of patience, but from here I really need to see it start expanding. And the reason it's beneath the new week opening gap, because that's 3 bullish PD arrays. If I can have 3 bullish PD arrays, technically 4, there's a fair value gap in there. I want to have it beneath some areas, basically lines of defense. Like we have the inversion, the fair value gap, we have old new week opening gap, and fair value gap in here. Particularly, I want to see this respected and expand higher. That's such a crazy question, Nico. I don't even know how to respond to that. Yeah, we're starting to move into the macro here, so I really need to see price start at least elevating higher in here. I don't like the NQs moving lower, to be honest. But nothing's invalidating this idea just yet. Yeah, Nico, I know I saw a different profile picture. This is taking a long time. This is why I don't like trading ES. It's just so lethargic, man. It's so slow. Yeah, NQ moves a lot faster than ES. I really need to see this start moving away from it, otherwise I'm just canning the idea. I mean, the overall narrative is still bearish. I mean, I was working with the idea that this would be the six sister approach, and this would get in line with NQ, but so far we're not having that happen. I just opened up an application on accident. Yeah, and I know with ES is it just takes a lot of patience to sit in this thing. And Ubis, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people in here that mean well. I mean, it's the same thing with ICT. Like, there's plenty of people that give him a lot of shit in his chat, even in the charter form. But then there's a lot of people like me who don't talk, who appreciate everything that he does. I don't leak anything. I don't say anything about his chat. Obviously, like, some leakers or give him criticism. So I understand it. Like, there's a lot of good people out there. And again, I'm not, like, mad about it or affected by it, really. It's just, I just know from a mental standpoint with trading and performance, it's better not to do, look at chat and give into a lot of that. I want to see it run above this high and get above this high and run into that Sibian here. So it's about 6 handles. I want to see it close. I don't want to see a wick above the buy side. I want to see a closure. this fair value gap to me would be the last point of interest. The last thing I'm going to give this thing. It really would need to expand, leaving that open, or trade into that and trade away from it. Otherwise, I'd just cut the trade, and that would be that. Did you watch the ICT roundtable video? No, I have not. I don't really watch a lot of content on YouTube in terms of trading. Yeah, I mean, that's another reason why I'd cut the trade, is if it doesn't start moving within this macro towards my targets, then I'm probably wrong, and I'd rather cut the trade off early. I mean, 15-minute to me, it still seems fine. What do I use? So like the daily time frame candlestick, how am I utilizing that? Well, I'm seeing how we traded off from the low of the day. It's in terms of power of 3. If we trade up away from the low of the day, I'm looking to see where the closure could be for the daily candle. So it needs to trade away from here. Otherwise, I'll just take like a break-even trade. Really, like I said, the inversion is the last point of interest. I mean, I could reduce my risk, but we may wick. But you can see, look at NQ, the way it's trading. It's trading off lower. The narrative is still bearish. So I'm on the understanding that I'm trying to buy the retracement if this thing wants to move lower. And that's a little bit lower probability. That's exactly the reason why I did it, to show you that example. Yeah, I wouldn't even really be participating within NQ. Let me see what NQ is doing. I honestly may keep, it may want to go into this new week opening gap. We slightly IOFED'd this 1 hour inversion there. Yeah. 15-minute BISI there. And it would need to reject that old new week opening gap. If not, then I'm obviously wrong. If I had to come back at PM and look for a short, then I'd do that. Ooh. Am I still in the trade? I mean, what does the screen look like? And it's just such a good example of why I don't particularly like countering the narrative. Do I still see this going higher? Very well could. I don't know for a fact. But I'm paying my stop loss to do its job. If it trades to it, then whatever. Particularly watching the 15-minute, because that fair value gap's really the parent with that old new week opening gap. It needs to really reject from here. I mean, there's that 1 minute inefficiency, but that's basically it. If I got stopped here, I still would be semi available to possibly look for a short, because that was my overall idea for the day anyways. So there's just not a lot of time left within the session. We just hit the silver bullet hour, really, or the end of it. We're still within the macro, but yes, it's just a very lethargic, slow moving pair, I guess. You see what YM's doing. I haven't paid much attention to it. Eh. Little Wazy, what's up, brother? Hope you're doing well. So we get above that SIBI, could treat it as an inversion. Again, I mean, that's, if this thing ends up working, it's a particular reason why I set my stop loss to where I set it. But I mean, it would really need to move higher in here. I mean, in total, it's probably about, it's a handle and drawdown. I mean, overall, on ES, what was that? 5.5 handle drawdown or stop loss. It's nothing. Honestly, if this thing had been moved to the target, I would take 75% off. Because we're moving late into the session, I'm looking at the time. Nor do I want to be on this live stream for that much longer. Pepper, I appreciate that. Again, I mean, you're going to get that with being on the internet, man. So I'd want to see it rip through this SIBI and turn it into an inversion. Trade up into the 15-minute inefficiency. Revisit the 1 hour. Ideally, it would be really cool is if the 5-minute closed above this down close candle and that created an order block. Amazing here, Lil Wazy. I'm good, brother. I just, I'm not paying attention to chat as much. I'm trying to make that a resolution for this week. I catch myself looking at it a lot and a lot of things, but good to hear. Are you on a, you're probably on a forex prop firm, right? You're not a futures? But again, I mean, that's a perfect example of just paying your stop loss to do its job, placing it at a logical level where you're placing it underneath a few lines of defenses. Like, I'm not going to just place my stop loss super short. I need to place it at a logical level to where the risk makes sense, and within price itself, the confinements, it makes sense. Oh, you're with fibers? No shit. Dude, they've been in the game for a long time. Hope they're treating you well. But then AMP, I gotcha. Yeah, futures is great, man. I mean, if you can, I would. And I get it, for a newer student, sitting through that type of drawdown or that type of time could be concerning, could be frightening, it can be a lot of uncertainty. But again, you pay your stop loss to do its job. You pay it to sit there, you pay it to be there to protect you. I mean, if I know it's at a logical level, then I'm not going to move it. I'm not going to exit the trade. I know I said that I could exit the trade, but there just wasn't enough information in there for me to get out of the trade just yet. If it traded underneath the new week opening gap and traded underneath that fair value gap, then I'd be ultimately wrong, and then I would have to readjust to whatever I was doing. Again, just for me and being in the stream, I would take off 3 at that SIBI up here, and then if you can leave a runner, whatever you'd like to do. I'm not going to tell you how to trade, but that's just what I'm doing for today. Yeah, fibers, I mean, dude, I'd known about fibers for like a long time. They've been like same with FTMO. Like, fibers were, I think, right around the same time as FTMO. They just, to me, I've looked at the rule set, maybe I'm wrong. It's a little odd, I think. Maybe they changed some stuff over the years. Ooh, got a good song playing. This is an OG song. If you're an OG ICT student, you're going to know what this, if you listen to some of his old intros. I don't know why this is on my Spotify. Maybe because I came up and I was like, oh, it's an ICT song. So at this point, I would be reducing my stop loss to at least underneath this low. I would need to see the inversion respected. I would need to respect this inversion and trade higher. If not, I'll probably cancel it, because we may go in consolidation. Yeah, I know this came up on my Spotify likes. So I was like, oh, this is a banger. ICT, I'll go. I saw your message before my bot deleted it. I'm pretty sure this is not the actual name of it. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Brett. I need to make sure. I'm probably gonna have another song here. Oh, just for my sake of being on the stream, I'd rather this thing punch up into this sell limit so I can go about my day. I mean, I'll see how far or how fast price moves if it does. I mean, you could technically put it to break even if you're still even in it, or if you even took it, but it could revisit the inversion. My entry's like right there, so I don't want to have it wick into my break even. Yeah, he probably played the. I mean, this is some Spotify playlist. I don't know. So there's a break even. And you don't see me freaking out. Like, to me, these, if you act super excited, giddy like a child when you win, that means that on the other side of the coin, when you lose, you're going to be devastated, crying, and complaining like a child. I am neutral to both. I don't care. It's simply business. It's a transaction. It means nothing more to me. And even doing this in front of people, I don't care. Like, only thing I want to say is, you know, people, oh, you're so patient, you know, you don't take any trades, you don't do anything. It's like, yeah, well, I wait for right conditions and I execute upon it. And I stay profitable that way. I protect myself. I play a lot of defense, but when I play offense, I know what I'm doing. So. What a good song. I forgot you get to listen to this music. If you're wondering, if I'm ever trading, I'm not listening to songs with a lot of words, or like, I'm listening to this type of music. It's just like, I don't even know what you would call it. Electronic. Again, this is not even like a huge move. Like, that's 6 handles on ES. Still a lot. I mean, I'm not going to downplay that, especially for a newer student. Like, getting 5 handles consistently, it's, you know, you can make a really good career off of that. Have I noticed the charter videos? Yeah, I mean, are they true? Yeah, they're all the same ones that I watched. I've watched all of those. Nor are they going to make you profitable. Like, they're just simply models and skeletons. Like, you have to understand the difference between models and then applying it in real time. Like, all the things that I teach, it sounds braggadocious, but all the things that even ICT taught through the live streams are the most valuable things you could learn. Because it's teaching you experience. Every day is unique, so like I can teach every day from whatever that layout or that framework is that day. I can work off of that. I can teach off of it. But just to make a video over narrative or bias or low probability I mean, to me it's useless. I want to sit in a live environment and show you, like, okay, like yesterday, that was a lower probability environment. How to detect that, how to sit through it. Anybody can make some trainer video and do that, but it's very effective to sit through a live stream and watch somebody. Jazz and smooth vibe. Yeah, I kind of, it depends on my mood for the day. Makes me wonder if all the people telling CJ what to do are getting results. Yeah, I mean, Roosta, again, it's the internet, man, and you have to take the pros with the cons. I mean, one thing as a live streamer, especially me, it's like I have to have immense amount of confidence within my system and myself, especially being as patient as I am, because like the chat could influence me to do something stupid just because, you know, they want to see something, but I'm not going to give into that. I'm taking this trade based off of ES being the 6th sister. It hasn't reached up into the higher premium that NQ has, so I'd want to follow suit with it. The entry pattern was there. Stop management, you saw how to sit through drawdown, where to put your stop loss, like all those things you're learning. If you're not annotating that, you're not being studious enough. Like those things are very, very important, what you just watched me do. How to take partials, how to protect yourself, how to know when a trade's invalid, where's the invalidation points, where should my stop loss be. Best offense is good defense. Yeah, I mean, defense wins Super Bowls. And I know we just had a Super Bowl, but I mean, defense wins all. If you're looking at any sport, defense wins all the games. I mean, of course, you need to score, but if you're able to keep the opponent from never scoring, I mean, you're always going to be winning, or at least you're going to be tied. That's why I play so much defense. That's why I'm always so cautious. I'm always so patient. I'm just playing defense all the time. And sometimes, yeah, you play a little bit too much defense and you're not able to capitalize. But, man, I would rather be super defensive than being super offensive. You can hurt yourself way more. How often do I stream, Curtis? I stream every single day. Can I show a Spotify playlist? To be honest, it's just all my likes. I'm surprised it's playing like this lo-fi stuff because I have some weird likes of music. I'm wondering what's next. And I'm probably gonna get copyrighted for this, but now this, if you're rest in peace. This song, I want to put this song in an execution video. Maybe I'll do it today. So why is my sell limit up there, if you're wondering? If I wasn't on live stream and I wasn't in this trade for so long, I maybe would have kept a little bit more. But it's right at equilibrium of this dealing range. I should move it up a little bit more. Alright, Tom, have a good rest of your day, brother. Lil Wazy, I appreciate that, brother. I really do. I mean, that means a lot from somebody like you. Comments like that speak for themselves. So if you're listening and you see that comment, I mean, he's more experienced than probably, not to be mean, I don't know everybody in here, but he's probably more experienced than a lot of you in here. And it's just it's a great testimony. I appreciate that, man. Hey CJ, with futures, do you pay out via crypto? No, I don't. As far as like, if you're looking at a business, think long term, think about getting an LLC, think about getting a business account, taking all your payouts, all the things that you spend on challenges, track that, create an LLC, that way you're able to write it off. Exactly, Lil Wazy. I'm in Dubai, yeah, that I don't know. I know Dubai's on its own little world. I bet that's cool though. I've always wanted to visit. Actually, I don't know. Nothing probed me to go short, so I like to trade the Sixth Sister, which was ES, and go long in it. Nico, I appreciate that, brother. Alright, I'll take you up on that deal. I actually, was that last year? 2 years ago, I met some guy through the charter forum. And he lived in Dubai, and basically I was able to get funded with him. We no longer work together, but at one point or another, he wanted to fly me out there, which I would have loved to do it.
Iced coffee and Munchkin's skewer. The iced coffee blends your favorite Dunkin' coffee with French vanilla and
all right, Harris.
Topped with
have a good day.
Sweet cold foam and a dusting
Thank you.
of cinnamon sugar on top, with the option to add a Munchkin skewer for the ultimate boy band beverage. Order the
I mean, this is exactly why you place your stops to break even. I mean, I'm not going to do zero because you have to think in terms of fees and commissions, right? Like, a lot of these people that hyper scalp and that are on a 5-second chart, and they post on Twitter, and they post like, yeah, you can trade in any condition, and if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. You can trade in any condition, you can trade on a 5-second time frame. Again, I don't even think these people they don't even know what they're talking about because they don't even know about commissions. Like, I don't even, if I was to do 10 trades today, I would need to be on side for 90% of them for the commissions to not to add up and put me in net negative. That's the reason why I play defense so much as well, is because if I'm sitting here on micro contracts or even with regular standard contracts, those commissions add up, man. they add up quick. And I'm not trying to put on 10 positions, have 10 different commissions charging me. I mean, if you traded futures, you know what commissions look like. It's crazy.
Listen to the City GPS podcast on Spotify.
Oh, yeah, no, I hate Spotify. There's a reason I don't use Spotify is stupid ads. I have Apple Music. So I'll sit with you guys for another, I don't know, 10 minutes. Either I'm going to get stopped out of break even or we get above this high. Well, now I'm probably copyrighted, so I may as well just play music. That's fine. Again, I don't get paid much for YouTube. Let's see in here. What music should I listen to?
Here's one thing you need to do before you buy anything online. Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch.
Cheese on my. All right, Wolf. Have a good day, brother. It depends, Nico. It depends what broker you're with. Depends their commissions. Some charge a lot. Micros charge a lot more for commissions. So if you see somebody trading a lot of micros and they're doing a lot of positions on micros, that's a lot of commissions, man. It's a lot. And you just have to think in terms of like a business. Do you want to be spending that much money on, like, even if you are profitable, do you want to be spending that much money on commissions? Because let's say somebody makes $500 on 10 trades. They're paying a lot more commissions and fees versus if I just took one trade and made $500. So that's the point I'm getting at, is I can definitely, my profit margin is going to be a lot more doing a lot less. Yeah, I know, just the non-copyright music's not that good. That's what I play in the beginning of the stream. Yeah, Nico, I heard it's like a utopia. It's beautiful. The only thing is, I just don't know if I would like that. Like, I like, how should I put this? I like nature. I'll put it that way. I like nature. I like to be surrounded by that. And like being in a city where it's just basically all metal buildings, and I'm sure it's beautiful and it's cool to see, but I feel like after a while, I don't know if I would like that. I'm not saying no, there's beaches in the ocean and stuff, but like I need a forest, man. I need to touch some trees and shit. That's just the way I view it. Luke, that's literally my mentality. Is I am in a scalper's mindset of a one-shot kill mindset. Is like, if I could take 1 to 2 trades a week just scalping, that's still, to me, you can refine a one-shot kill, you know, trade mentality into the scalp mindset. It's like, you know, I can only go, you know, let's say I take 2 trades a week on ES. I'm just going for 5 to 10 handles a trade, and that's all you need. I don't need to have a 50 handle run. But again, I'm trying to reduce the cost and the commissions and my mental capital, all that good stuff. Yeah, I mean, I have to trade micros too, and that's the reason why I don't engage that often. See, that's what I want to rage. Like, I want a house on land with farm animals, a wife and some kids, and life's good to me, man. As long as I don't have to clock into some corporate job and waste my life away. I mean, that's, if I'm never a millionaire, that still means the world to me. Time freedom, being able to do whatever I want when I want, provide for a family, etc. Be honest, dude, I would just move the sell limit here. Me on ES, it's an 11 handle run. It's pretty darn good on ES. And you can see we moved back down in the inversion, expanded away from it. Close above this, see if it acts as an inversion. Yeah, if I could have, you know, a little house on some land, and then I got a Ferrari in the garage. Well, that's cool. That's awesome, Little Lazy. I bet, I mean, I think all of us strive for that. I don't know, personally, I don't think living in a city would suit me very well. I think I could do it for a little bit of period of time, and then I'd be like, alright, I gotta get out of here. I got all that without the wife and kids. Hey, I mean, sooner or later. MS, thank you. I appreciate that, MS. That means a lot. That's why I do these live streams, is for those comments, is you're able to learn something, you're able to get something, not just, you know, see a trade place and you're like, wow, that's great. It's like, no, you need to learn through the live stream as well. No fast cars here, just farm trucks. Yeah, that's alright. GTRS, yeah, or GT3RS, those things are beautiful. Wazy, how old are you, brother? I guess I'm probably still a little naive. I'm 24, so I mean, I probably still got that young, ambitious mentality, and I'm sure as I age, probably won't end up wanting Ferrari. Would I mind disabling the music? I mean, I could turn it down. I mean, put a 1 in the chat if you want me to take it off. McLaren. Oh, Justin, you're still here. No, my Ferrari's gonna beat your McLaren. It's gonna wipe the floor. ICT has 2 Corvettes. He has the C8 and he has the C7, and then he had a Supra at one point. I don't know if he got rid of that, but I think he said he was going to get rid of that. Golf, yeah, Golf R's are, those things are awesome. Little turbo car. How long have I been in the Silver Bullet? I mean, from this point, which was 10:37, I mean, just a little under an hour. Again, I can trade past the Silver Bullet window if I'm inside of a trade and I still think that there's meat left on the bone. I can still expand it out. I mean, I'm not, my stop loss is a break even. I took partials, so I'm not worried. I'm not, you know, fatigued. I can just let the trade work. So we got above that. Civi can act as an inversion. C8 trash. Justin, you know you'd take a C8. What do you mean? At least a Z06 you would. I've had fast, so I don't do fields or, yeah. I mean, people say that. I think it's funny, the view on success a lot of people have. It's like, oh, you have a Ferrari, and that just means you want to flex on people and say you're better. It's like, dude, if nobody ever even knew I had a Ferrari, I would still own the Ferrari. Because that's a cool ass car to have and drive. I love driving. Even if it wasn't Ferrari, I mean, having a souped up car, whatever it is, I just love cars. I love driving. I think if you're a man and you don't like driving fast cars, there might be something wrong with you. Wait, Lil Wazy, you 29? Oh, I got you, brother. Yeah, you didn't look that old. I thought you were going to say like 40. I was going to be like, what? Give me 1 second. Danny, how old are you? Curious. I feel like I'm such a young person, man. 52. 40 is the new 30. I mean, there's a great saying: men age like fine wine, women age like milk. So I think as a man, you get better as you age at least. That's cool, Rage. See, that's awesome, and that's having an old car like that to me that's even cooler than a Ferrari. That's cool. 27. Okay, so we're all right around the same age. I mean, I'm about to be 25 in 2 months here. You started when you're 25, Lazy. Yeah, I started when I was 18. $68. Wow. That's awesome to see, actually. It really is. So from here, I want to see. ES is just so lethargic. I mean, I don't care if anybody hops off, but I'm just chilling out, vibing, and see if this thing wants to get up into this inefficiency here. Navs, you might have this arrow. Check if you have this arrow here. It says show indicator legend. It'll drop down your indicators. If not, you want to put an indicator on. It's up here. You click on indicator, and then whatever you want to have on. $68 is the new 40. Yeah. Man, I was talking to some guy in the gym yesterday. He's 91 years old and still kicking it, man. I mean, he's still working out, still very coherent. So it's very, very impressive. If I had, like, let's say 2 contracts and we got above this high again, it's called running down equity. You could take out another partial. So anytime you make a new high, if you're in a long position, you take out a partial. Anytime you make a new low, if you're shorting, you take out a partial. $52, but I look 19. Send a picture, prove it. I'm kidding. Yeah, I mean, I guess for all the older folks, time moves fast, man. I feel like from 21 to now about to be 25, I feel like I blinked. Thank you, Marco. My birthday is actually Cinco de Mayo. Nav, well, what do you want to put on there? If you want to put on what I have on, just go up to the indicators and then like my week opening gap, you just type in exactly what it says. NWOG/NDO, and then you're going to see, I think all of these are newer. Probably I would go with the FADI, Fahadi. Am I related to Mike? No. I have the same name as his son. Which, I don't know where ICT's at. He's had to seen my streams. He's had to at least seen the stream once. I feel like social media has always been so difficult for me. It's like universe, God, whatever. I just feel like it always has been so difficult on social media to either get views, likes, whatever it is, followers, or even like ICT. He's commented on everybody else who's ever live streamed his concepts. Never once has came in here. Not complaining, but it's funny. you have the unpaid version, so it won't let me add one more, even though I clicked to remove 2 I had. You may have to restart your browser then. You gotta be a girl for ICT, yeah. I want to do an experiment with all of you. I'm going to change my name for a day to Kayla Trades. And I swear if he gets in the stream, I'm going to laugh. Alan, to be honest with you, I wouldn't put any indicators on. I've done this for a few newer students, is I put the fair value gap indicator on just to help you see the fair value gaps, but then again, it can kind of poison your mind to think that all these are valid when there's certain fair value gaps that work and some that don't. So you need to know the difference. I mean, I wouldn't put any indicators on personally. I would manually mark up everything. It will just help train your eyes better pattern recognition, etc. Accidental. That's funny. You love my voice? I appreciate that. I mean, this is what trading is like after the silver bullet. I mean, it's very slow, and we've had a large movement today. So with CPI, we've had this massive drop lower. So I'm not anticipating some large ranges, especially with ES. I mean, NQ, you saw the large expansion on it. I mean, it depends how long this stream's going to run, because otherwise I may just hop off and let you guys know what happened. I mean, you're going to see what happened on the chart, if I got stopped out or not. But I'll give it like 10 more minutes. If the thing doesn't start expanding, then I'm going to hop off here and go about my day. I mean, that's, to me, if I was in this trade, I wouldn't even be looking at charts. I'd be probably making breakfast doing something else, like off stream. Alan, appreciate that. Are you willing to trade the PM session? So if I have a winner in the AM session, I'm not going to touch PM. I'm not going to give back what I won in the AM. I mean, I'm done. If I lost in the AM, I'll be willing to push the PM, or not push, but willing to trade the PM if something's really there. But if not, then you just have to eat the loss for the day. As far as event horizon, that is 50% in between old new week opening gaps. I don't particularly really use it. I think it's too much on my chart. And he didn't, to be honest, he didn't go over it extensively to where I would know how to utilize it that well. Nico, you hit the nail on the head, my friend. It's exactly what I'd want. If I had to encapsulate what learning for me would be like, is to learn narrative and work within that framework. I mean, it's counter to what everybody else states on YouTube and Twitter is you don't need a daily bias, you don't need to know narrative. Screw that. It's like, man, you're doing yourself such a disservice. There's times when you don't need a daily bias, you don't need a narrative, but you can work within the intraday draws and liquidities. But I've stated this before. Imagine if you're able to know narrative and be able to predict it very well, understand it exceptionally well, and then also know intraday draw and liquidities when I don't need the narrative. Imagine having the skill set and being able to wield both of those. I mean, I don't see the downside to that. To me, that's just being lazy, and you don't want to know narrative, you don't want to work within it. And to me, it's just fast, microwavable mindsets. Oh, I can just look at a 1 minute and I'll just be fine. It's like, what? It makes no sense to me. Alright, Chris. Appreciate you tuning in today. Have a good rest of your day. I really hope in the next 5 minutes this thing displaces. I need to go to the bathroom. Oh, Arthur, that's something that ICT's taught. That came directly from ICT. It's Event Horizons. That's not something made up. Which, it's a valid question. I know that there's a lot of misinformation. But yes, that's if I gave you an example, this is what, so this old new week opening gap down here to this old new week opening gap, you can grade it, meaning you can look at the 50%, that's an event horizon. You could look at the 25%, so you take from 50% to that bottom of that new week opening gap, you grade that again, that's 25%. But again, I don't utilize it. You don't need to utilize everything that he teaches. What did I miss, Justin? CJ, I don't... Was that me? I think I missed something. Rage Harder, I forget that you have an indicator on here. What is it called? I'd rather support you than this other person. Do you actually have one? Or are you joking? Is this only paper trading? No, I had this on my live account. It's just I don't have it connected. It's on another platform. Am I using quadrants? I mean, in terms of grading, you look at the 0, 25, 50, 75, 100 levels. I mean, if you ever watched or read the book Quarter Theory, I mean, it's the same theory, but you're not using price level quarter theory. Yeah, Ray Charter, I mean, I know you don't get anything. I'd rather have yours on there. I mean, I just didn't find it. Does it say Ray Charter in there? Might have to send it in the chat. I don't see it. Unless I'm looking it up wrong. Yeah, Nav, I mean, I focus on the silver bullet every day. And the silver bullet to me, I know there's a model that surrounds the silver bullet, but I just use the silver bullet as time. I'm working within 1 hour of time. And I know that's the highest probability time for me to take a trade. And that I use my models within that. Lewis, awesome. This is like watching paint dry. This is extremely boring. This is where, obviously, I just wouldn't be at the charts. I'd be doing something else. And because if you just sit at the charts, a lack of patience and just frustration of just sitting and watching something would just weigh your patience down. Just moving away, especially if you've already taken partials, stops to break even. Just move away from the charts. Let it do its thing. Either way, you're protected. Nab, I have a video on my YouTube channel labeled Charter Member Models, where those are basically all my models that I use. So I recommend people to go to that, watch it, and then they can come to the stream and see how I utilize it. But I mean, there's a whole lot more than just a model. I mean, there's so much more that you use. It's just a skeleton. All it is just a framework that you work within, and that's it. But intermarket relationships, SMT, news event drivers, time. I mean, there's so much. I mean, the one thing I'd recommend is for a newer student is pick one PD array to enter off of. Only utilize like a fair value gap. I don't utilize anything else. I use inversions and fair value gaps. I don't use breakers, order blocks to enter off of. I know what they are. I'm very well educated on them. I don't utilize them to enter off of, to get into price. To me, that's the biggest milestone I had, because I used to try to enter off of everything, and then my data's all screwed up. I don't know what's working. I don't know what's not working. And it's just personality. Whatever you find is best for you. For me, fair value gaps meet my eye the easiest. It's the best for me. But if they don't work for you, then utilize something else. It's all personal. Did I finish the beginner's course? I have 2 videos left that I got to record today, and I will drop it by the end of this week. So I really tried to not make that as clickbaity, because I'm not that person. But I mean, unfortunately, in this social media world, I kind of have to make the thumbnail clickbaity. Like, I put the easiest, which it's to me it probably is. But I really broke down from a beginning standpoint. If you have no experience in trading, I broke it down. Basically, what is futures, trading view, time frames, market structure, and then I dove into liquidity rates, fair value gaps, premium discounts, SMT, creating your own model, and then the last video is psychology and risk management. So it encapsulates everything. Just for like somebody that's just, you have a friend, a family member like I do that's just getting into trading, you want to introduce them to it. If they're interested, then I think it would be a good place for them to start. Because for me, when I've recommended people that have no idea about trading, it's hard for me to just tell them to go to ICT's YouTube channel, because they're going to be like, I have no idea even what a candlestick is. I don't know what you're talking about. So at this point, you could actually move your break even to in profit, which I'm going to do. I move it underneath this swing low there. I don't even know if anybody's even in the trade, but just annotating what you would do. What futures prop firms do you use? In the chat, my funded futures. I think they're the best futures prop firm out there. And that's just not me because I endorse them. It's because I actually believe that. I think their rules, their pricing, everything that they have, it outperforms every other futures prop firm model out there, even Top Step. Am I unfunded? Yeah, I'm on a funded account. So the sell limit is futures. That's basically your take profit. Because if I'm going to buy contract at 1, then it's going to take me out. It's going to sell that contract. And it'll collapse the position. What are the benefits? I think the benefits would be you don't have a trailing drawdown. That is, it's end of day, not in the session. I think the pricing's better. I think the payout's much better in terms of the payout system. I think that, especially this month, you don't have an activation fee. That's how a lot of future prop firms get you, is they'll have a discount. Is if you look at the price structure, let's say Top Step right now, they have I believe it's $150 for a 100K account. But my funded FX right now is, for a 100K account, I believe, don't quote me on this, I'm gonna have to look it up. I believe it's 210. But if you pass Top Step, you have to pay a $150 activation fee. So then you end up paying $300. But with my funded FX or my funded futures, if I pass the account for $210, that's all I'm paying. I don't have an activation fee. So you have to look at the activation fees, look at the payouts, look at the trailing drawdown, all that stuff. It's very important with future prop firms. One of my funded futures. I mean, yeah, they're newer to the space, but the reason I trust them so much is because my funded FX is a sister company. And to me, Matt, the CEO, is not going to put his whole reputation on the line with my funded FX just to scam people in my funded futures. From a business standpoint, I look at it that way as well. From a CEO standpoint, it just doesn't make any sense. It would be so stupid. Yeah, I'm on the expert plan, which I don't even utilize. I don't utilize, like, they give me 10 standard minis I could utilize on the expert, which I think is absurd. I don't need to be utilizing that, especially in a funded account. I only use micros until I start building up that drawdown and I can get away from that trailing drawdown, then I could start using regular standard minis. Why not Top Step? I mean, I still think they're a great company, don't get me wrong, but again, I think their payout system's a little weird. You have to have I believe five consistent days of making $200. You have to have a consistency rule, which with my expert plan, I don't have a consistency rule. I think that their pricing is more expensive than my funded futures. So, yeah, Top Step's payout, it's trash. I mean, all future prop firms, their payout system's not that well compared to forex. So it's the pros and cons of them that you have to take. But I mean, it's for a particular reason. It's a completely different infrastructure than forex, so you can't expect or want the same things. It's not reality. Yes, Italy. But then again, if you pass, let's say, a Top Step account, you still have to pay a $150 activation fee. So you have to look at that as a $50 account would be $150 or $200. I mean, all of those are going to be priced up more. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't think Top Step. I'm not hating on Top Step. I think they've been in the game the longest. They're definitely probably either, I'd say, the second best. My personal opinion, my funded futures is the best. And I think they're going to continue to exceed and excel. I mean, they just have a promotion right now for their static account. I picked up 2 of them. I'm going to be trading that because I think static accounts are amazing for futures. Top Step doesn't have any static accounts. Again, people are like, oh, it's a 30K account. I'm not looking at, I don't even care about 30K. What I'm looking at is the drawdown and how many contracts can I use. I think Apex is a scam. That screams scam from 10,000 miles away. And I'm sure people are funded and paid out with them, but I don't know. It just seems somebody that's always having 80% off, 90% off. I don't even know how that's profitable. The only way they're profitable is through the activation fee. Like, they get people by, having a 90% off sale, but then if you get funded, you got to pay activation fee. It's like, well, wasn't clear. I mean, I know you can get maxed up to 600K capital, so it depends. You could have X amount 50K accounts, X amount 100K, depends. Yeah, and again, they have the trailing. They don't have an end of day trailing drawdown. They have in the session, if I go up $500, but then I close out $200, that trailing drawdown pulls me all the way up to where my highest equity was. I mean, that to me, how can anybody could be consistent with that? I mean, that's near impossible. There's no way. The only way I'd utilize Apex is if I was just strictly gambling, and I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna buy an account, pay the activation fee, and then over leverage just to see how much money I can get. But besides that, it's not a long-term profitability. Alright, dude, I hope this thing stops me at a break even. I gotta go to the bathroom so bad. So your static drawdown doesn't move? No, it's like for my funded futures right now, it will stay at $1,500. It will never move, which is fantastic. You can actually build an account that way. You can make money, and if you withdraw, your drawdown's still there, so you're chilling. Just go to the bathroom. Yeah, I know. Either way, I want to get off the live stream, so. Rio, you don't need to spam. I can see your one message. You just have to add the indicator ICT higher time frame candles. Oh my goodness, I got stumped out. Break even. Holy shit, amazing. Most of you are like, what? I'm very happy about that. So hopefully you guys were able to see this trade today. Nothing really too exciting, but I mean, it was a trade, and you got to see the Six Sister approach, how to sit through drawdown, where to place your stop logically, etc., etc. Rio, please, I mean, if you keep doing that, I'm gonna remove you. So don't spam on my chat, please. So hope you guys enjoyed today. Hopefully it was something of good value and you learned something. I think it was, personally. That's going to be it for me today. I'm not going to trade the PM session. I appreciate all you guys in here. Dude, you paid for a bathroom break, yeah. Alright, that's going to be it for the stream. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for staying on here. Appreciate all the real ones in here. Until tomorrow, good luck and good trading, everybody.